जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय
जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम 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 जय राम जय जय राम राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम श्री 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 राम जय राम जय जय राम ओम जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम
ഇപ്പോൾ 2 മിനിറ്റിൽ വിളിക്കും. ഒരു 2 മിനിറ്റിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ വിളിക്കും.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram-wo. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Padma ji?
She's Padmanti.
This Jajya Stali He Manajaya Maje. Is it in Manache Shlok?
Oh, yes.
Which sloka? Any idea? Because we have only English before us. It's only English behind. So the...
I take out Manhattan Shloka Swamiji. This is that.
We can.
I search.
She's searching from.
Chari. Because that is the one which we everyday chant in the ashram. But in English it is difficult for us to... Anyway, you please let us know. Yesterday we were... Yesterday we were prompted to concentrate upon consciously chanting with feeling. Today morning, we were discussing, it is not emotions, Feelings, the word feeling stands for becoming one with. So when we repeat any prayer, we have to check up for ourselves whether we have that feeling, So why this is the most sacred mantra, the last one at the Arati. Jajya stali he manajaya maje, tyatya stali he nijarupa tuje, me tevito mastakacha tikani, tete tuje sadguru payatoni. So with that feeling when we chant only, it helps. Otherwise it has not helped us. We know that for the past 20, 30, 40 years we have been repeating. We always used to think why Mataji placed it at the last. Because with that, we prostrate before the Guru and come out of the bhajan hall. Because the moment I come out of the bhajan hall, I should be able, there should be a constant effort on my part to see him. Because that is what we are telling, Wherever I go, wherever I place my heart. So with that bhavana, we are supposed to go out. Since we were not conversant with Marathi, we were not able to understand. Though it was nicely set to a tune, we all repeat. But later on, when somebody came from abroad and when he was asking us, we ourselves did not know, then we, another time we took the lead of organizing all these things, get it translated. And then only we started, otherwise, I remember not even the form of a book. We used to have a sheet, English only. And then when we started reading, then only we came to know that this is what every day we are chanting. And what are we doing? As Papa said, the toils of individualism continues to have its say on us. That is why we are not seeing him. Number.
Wherever my mind goes,
Moment number. That is
Number.
Number.
meaning is like
Daily prayers of Samarth Ramdas. Anyway, let them do that. This we have taken from the book, The book, Arati translation, this was taken. But where is the sloka? So that Siddhanji Maharaj would have amplified it. That's what we wanted to.
these are daily prayers by Samarth Ramdas.
It is not Manache Shloka.
Oh.
These daily prayers.
Do we know that it is not, they are working, Why should we have no idea about all these things? So what is needed is we are now searching for the Manache Shloka, for this Jajya Stali hai, only to see where the Shloka is, that's all. Anyway, what is more important is whether we are chanting it with the feeling. So the feeling can come only when it is translated in our own mother language. In our mother tongue, suppose we get it translated, we will be able to closely associate. So then the effort now is, whenever we happen to go through any prayer, we will try to develop this feeling, not merely recitation. Because yesterday, you all remember, we came across one quotation of Papa: prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication. So prayer should open up a channel of communication. Channel of communication means we recognize he is there and we are here. So there is a channel of communication. That means we are conscious of his presence, which is what is needed, In our spiritual journey, this is what is needed. So for that, we have to have that feeling while we render any sort of prayer.
Jajya Stalihe Manajaya Vyatya Stalihe Nijarupa Tuje Mi Devito Mastaka Vyataka.
That is their universal prayer, It is universal prayer. That's there. I wanted to know where Swamiji has given this explanation. Meaning we have got,
Which shloka?
Because the feeling can be touched and kindled when we explain so many things.
Prayers by Swami.
It's all right. We thought if it is in Manache Shloka, Swamiji would have definitely amplified it. That will enable us to develop that feeling. This in our Guru Sthiti, we have translated this meaning. In spite of that, we did not develop, So anyway, let us not think about that, because it is not going to help us. What we are trying is how to develop this feeling. Close, Forget about it. We have requested somebody to do it. What is more important is to develop the feeling when we are rendering a prayer, any prayer. So we thought the moment, this is the last one, why did Mataji place that? Then the more we think about it, this is an affirmation we are making. Wherever I look, immediately after I come out of the bhajan hall, I will be confronted with various situations, persons, objects. So if this goes deep into my mind, I may fail, I may forget, but every day I am reminded. Vinobaji was once mentioning that when he went to one Mahadev's temple, he saw the water pot hanging over the lingam, and drop by drop it will be the drop by drop it goes on the lingam. So then immediately he said, after all, for the whole day, suppose there will be 1 bucket of water. Why not we pour it straight away? So then only we understand, he said, that it should be drop by drop, mean the dent will be there. It becomes a constant affair. I am pouring, with 1 bucket of water, if I do it in 1-2 seconds. But the same bucket of water will take 1 day or 12 hours to pour 1 drop by drop by drop. That means what? 12 hours we are in constant remembrance of him. That alone can develop the feeling. Another example in Vinobaji's life, when he was a boy, when the mother was a very highly evolved soul, great bhakta. So she used to offer, she made a sankalpa to offer 1 lakh grains to the deity. So every day after sending boy to the school, Vinobaji to the school, and preparing food for her husband, she will do this puja and then only she will take food. One day when the husband saw that what she was doing with grains in the puja room, so he peeped and asked, what are you doing? Then she said, I have a sankalpa to offer 1 lakh grains to Lord. Immediately he smiled and said, because according to him she was an unlettered lady, don't worry about that. On those days, it was not kilogram, it was pounds. So you take a measure and weigh it. And then count. And then to add up to 1 lakh, how many pounds should be there? You offer it, finished. But somehow she knew that is not the answer, though she was unable to counter it. So she kept quiet, waited for Vinobaji to come back from the school, and she, like an innocent child, placed the problem before this school-going boy. This is what I have the sankalpa, and this is what your father said. What do you feel? Spontaneously Vinobaji replied that arithmetics and bhakti do not go together. When you have made a sankalpa of offering 1 lakh times, 1 lakh grains, it is to remember him 1 lakh times, which cannot be had if you calculate and then pour it 1. All these things teach us to develop the feelings towards her. It is not true. So what we are doing now is not the purpose for which it is done. We realize that. Just like, 1 lakh means you weigh something and put. So our job is to repeat and then go. No. We may not be conversant with Sanskrit or any other language, but there should be a conscious effort on our part. Even if we don't know the meaning, it is all right. We must have some idea about it, That feeling will develop. That is important. So probably in Nandana's case, what happened? He was an unlettered boy. But when his boss, who was a scholar, when he was giving discourses, straight away 1 word came to his mind. Darshan of Lord Nataraja liberates one from this samsaric world. He heard it from his own boss. He did not know Sanskrit or he did not know Tamil or any literature or anything like that. But that feeling was there, With that feeling, he started develop his association. He started developing the feeling, and you all know what happened. Ultimately, he became one with Lord Nataraja. So when we say, we don't mean the exact meaning. At least we should have some idea about what we are praying, which is very important. In our spiritual journey, we have been blessed with so many such opportunities in our life. Now in Ananda Ashram, Puja Mataji had brought out so many things. Today morning we were going through the Guru Sthiti, Not even Guru. So how do we start? Akhandamandalaakaram, we start. Everything. We may not know the meaning, but at least we have some idea. We are offering our worship, bhakti, to the indwelling Guru. Indwelling Guru, indwelling and all-pervading Guru. We start our morning program. What do we call it?
Guru Stuti. We
Huh?
start with Vishnu Sahasranama.
Guru Stuti, yeah?
Then
Guru
Ram
Stuti.
Nam, Guru
6 o'clock Guru Stuti.
Non-priced.
Arati book. It is in Guru Stuti is in Arati book.
So it is in English book. It starts Akhandamandalaakaram, Vyaaptam Yena Charaacharam, TatPadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri, Gurave, Namah. Salutations to that Sadguru, whose whole form pervades the universe, who is immanent in all static and movable objects of the world, and who shows the path to realize the Supreme Being. Akhandamandalaakaram. He is expansive, the expansiveness of the Vyaaptam Yena Charaacharam, TatPadam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namah. First itself, how to move to the indwelling Guru. Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshurun Militam Yena, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namah. Salutations to that Sadguru, who grants the true vision, removing the cataract of ignorance, Timiram, by the application of the salve of pure knowledge. Cataract we have some idea about cataract, how the vision gets blurred because of the cataract. And to remove this, some collyrium, something like, something should be applied on our mind. And here he says, knowledge of him. So ajnanam goes by jnanam. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya. Chakshurun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So when we understand this, some idea, we don't say word by word, some idea. So that we can check up whether the feelings well up in our heart when we offer the prayers. So mostly when we go to temple, what happens is we don't know anything. Though we have a superficial, sentimental, emotional level satisfaction of having had the darshan of the Murti, and some inexplicable feeling we experience there, no doubt about it. But then we are checking why we are not. Why it is not sustaining? If we have rendered our worship with the feeling, something will be left with us when we come out of the temple. We were sharing the other day, when we went to Delhi, must be in mid-70s or then we were taken to the Malai Mandir. We can never forget that, even after 40, 50 years. When we went to the Malai Mandir, it's a South Indian temple dedicated to Lord Muruga. There the Shastris, priests, they were rendering Tamil slokas in beautiful meter, and their slokas, songs, even archanas, And then we spend a lot of time there. Because with Tamil we can at least understand something. So the whole mind was completely involved in that worship. And the meaning helped us to dwell on it more and more. So it was not like in a usual traditional way of going there and coming out and taking the prasad and immediately we start talking about all other subjects except the deity or the temple. Unknowingly it happens. Why? It doesn't leave any deep dent in us. So So feelings are very, 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 very important.
Swamiji, feeling is not emotion.
No. Emotion can be down-pulling, upgrading, so many types. This feeling, what is meant is feeling one with Him. Let us not.
Feeling is the expression of God means what?
That is one with,
Oneness is the
Oneness,
expression of God.
oneness. Thought cannot do that because thought originates from the individual. Feeling does not originate from the individual. It's a feeling, You cannot explain that. Somebody is falling, you are like rushing up and trying to help him. Compassion, feeling compassion, becoming one with him. There is absence of otherness. So how to? It is spontaneous. It is not an exercise which we learn from any other quarter. No. Just like compassion is not a product of any academic knowledge. It is spontaneous in nature. So when we render any program, for example in ashram, suppose we develop this, so try to concentrate. English, forget about Marathi now. We are every day we are chanting. At that time, what is happening in us? O Lord of the universe, O Creator, O Protector, Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee. Do we bring Him before us? Are we in a mood? Are we in that mood where, we surrender at least for that split second? We mean what we say. At that particular moment, do we feel that we have surrendered ourselves totally to Him? Deign to bless me ever with Thy remembrance. I am unable to hold on to that, so please deign to bless me. Like that, every word when we go through. That is the real purpose of prayer. Now, when Papa says prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication, we are trying to understand those words, With that bhavana, when we render any prayer in any language, 2-3 days back we prayed that Gurave, Mahaniya Kripa. In that introduction, Swami Tejomanji says, even if you don't know the meaning, it is all right. But this is the theme. Only because of your glory, I am conscious of the glory poured on me. Mahaniya Kripa. An inexplicable feeling wells up in our heart the moment we hear that. Initially, it might be due to the tune, and later on we try to go through some words. In our tour, we used to have the English meaning also. In the PPT it is placed. And then we play this because most of them may not be well conversant with Hindi. So when we play that, we could see that everybody will be in standstill. The tune is also very soothing. Plus the meaning, not high-sounding words, simple words. So that is why why are we hearing it again and again? When we hear that, suddenly, it wells up in our heart. We have heard Papa telling great provider, great provider, great provider.
In the 205 slokas it is not there, but the end, after that, the daily chanting, daily prayer, which is there in the last one. Here also it is the last one.
It is not in the 205 shlokas of Manache. It is in the daily chanting, the last shloka. Daily prayer.
ठीक है.
Up after that,
I think that is from
they
Rasa.
I don't know, we just wanted to know, Swami Chidanji Maharaj has brought out a book called Verses Addressed to the Mind. Elaborate, he has given the explanation.
meaning.
So we thought if we could connect up that particular sloga, we were under the impression that it is a part of Manache sloga. Now that you say that, probably...
These prayers.
Can I read out the English meaning?
It is there with
It is there, English meaning is there. But he would have elaborated, And Swamiji's elaboration is very, very inspiring. For example, I will tell you how he begins that book. One extraordinary influence in India was a towering personality, a great sage of wisdom, a sage of unparalleled renunciation, who was the very embodiment of austerity, penance and self-control. This great sage was the guru of King Chhatrapati Shivaji and was also a contemporary of the foremost among the medieval Maharashtrian saints, Saint Tukaram. His name was Sant Samarth Ramdas. Whereas Tukaram was a Bhakta, Ramdas was a blend of Bhakti and Jnana. Just as a translation and a commentary of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in its contemporary colloquial Marathi dialect was the magnum opus of Saint Jnaneshwar, even so, the magnum opus of Samarth Ramdas was a big book giving advice, instructions, guidance upon all aspects of human life. Personal, private, individual, public, universal. This is the beauty of Swami Chidanji. He will unfold everything. It concerned all the different fields of human activity and endeavor. What parents should do, what children should do, what kings should do, what is the duty of the subjects, what is the duty of politicians, what is the duty of people in different walks of life. That magnum opus is called Dashabodh. Bodh means teaching, so it came to be known as awakening teachings of this servant. Servant of who? Rama. As his favorite deity was that aspect of the Supreme Being manifest as Rama, he was called Ramdas, meaning servant of Rama. Even though that was the big work he gifted to society, yet for the spiritual aspirant, for sadhakas and devotees, he produced an amazing condensation of the highest wisdom teachings in a very concise form, in little verses, beautiful verses of 2 or 3, 4 lines in the form of a poetical work where he admonishes his own mind. He tells the mind, look here mind, this is how you must behave. This is how you must look at things. This is how you must conduct yourself. This is the way in which you should behave. In his admonition to the human mind, that is called Manache Shloka, he gives intimate advice about conduct, character, daily routine, what qualities to develop, what qualities to avoid, what qualities should be embellished, what should be shunned or rejected, what is the pathway to God, what is the pathway to perdition. In this little pocket-sized book, all these things feature. It is one of the most popular works throughout Maharashtra. It is known to everyone in Maharashtra. Even the illiterate villagers of rural India know portions of it by heart from listening to teachers expounding the truths of this little book. His message can be interpreted in 2 ways. That Ramdas is giving advice to his own mind, or that Ramdas is addressing the human mind. If you want to take it in an impersonal way, Ramdas gave advice to the human mind. If you want to take it in a personal way, Ramdas spoke to his own mind. Sometimes the book is referred to Maharaj as Manobodh, awakening teachings of the mind, or sometimes as Manache Shlok, verses addressed to the mind. It's a pocket source of wisdom, small in size, great in its message, great in its power to transform. You see the way in which he puts. It touches and wells up so many things. With this background, when we approach Manache Shlok, some idea will be there. The way in which he puts it. These are all his extempore talks, and then later on they compiled and they put it in the form of a book. Sant Samarth Swami Ramdas was a towering embodiment of absolute renunciation, absolute dispassion, absolute virakta. He was an embodiment of austerity, amazing austerity, of penance and prayer. He shone as a Samartha Sadguru, all powerful. A Samartha Sadguru is one who can give instantaneous liberation to his disciples. The Guru of Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, was such a Samartha Sadguru. But Samartha Sadgurus rarely use this power because the impact of this gesture, if directed towards the disciple, might shatter the disciple. It is like a spiritual blow. You can strike a metal pot or an iron pot and they may receive a blow and remain intact. But if the same blow with the same force is given to an earthen pot, it will break and shatter into pieces. This imparting of instant illumination should not be mistaken for what nowadays goes by the name Shakti Path. Shakti Path is the imparting or communicating of a certain spiritual impulse, which by and large is temporary. The one who receives it experiences certain unusual feelings which manifest in the form of tremors, horripilations, tears, certain jerky movements. Highly qualified aspirants who are already well established in sadhana may experience temporarily a trance condition, self-forgetfulness or forgetfulness of their environment, but it subsides after a while. It's a phenomenon and not a state that is to be communicated. Ramdas was a Samartha Sadguru. How did he attain to this state? How did he come into this spiritual life of renunciation? It's very interesting. So like that, I think we can take it up.
Yeah, we'll take it from here.
We can take it up.
We can continue. The boards. Saudhan. Land.
Tomorrow we'll take up that portion. How Swamiji Chidanji Maharaj introduces him to us.
Today, Namah Swamiji, in the Namah.
You can try. I will go. Why did we get into this Manacha Shlok?
Prayer and meditation.
That should not.
Jajastali.
Praying with feeling.
Feeling.
Prayer with feeling. It should not be lost sight of. Because prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication. That is why we read biographical sketches. Because the moment we think about that Mahatma, the background wells up in our heart, no? Think about it. Suppose you are seeing the photo of an image of a guru about whom you have not heard. The physical form may have its influence for a time being. But suppose you will ask him, who is this saint? And somebody shares his experience. Then what happens to you? So that means the feeling, we are paving the way for the emerging of the feelings, the noble feelings, loftiest feelings, so that we become one with the Guru. At the time of inauguration of this ashram, so many photos were there of Mahatmas. Papa had written in the vision of God. Why did he do that? At the time of the opening of the ashram, we had the most illuminating sayings of the great religious teachers of the world, neatly written out in block letters on thick sheet of paper in English, Sanskrit and Marathi. And these were framed and hung up on the walls of the bhajan hall. Also the Rama Mantra, which was painted on the walls in different languages. The sayings were, to those men who worship me alone, thinking of no other, to those ever harmonious, I bring full security. God is love. He who dwells in love dwells in God and God in him. God resides in that heart in which there is compassion, forgiveness and peace. Different sayings. He who wears his body in God's service, Samarth Ramdas, who has Ram Nam always on his tongue, who walks always on the path of righteousness, such a servant of the Lord is blessed with on this earth. So first was from Bhagavad Gita, from Jesus Christ, from Sant Tukaram, from Samarth Ramdas, and Ekanath Maharaj. Dedication of wife, son, house and life to God is the perfect path of devotion. This is called true worship. Again Bhagavad Gita, abandoning all duties, come to me alone for shelter, sorrow not, I will liberate thee from all sins. After the lapse of a few years, many of these were replaced by the pictures of these teachers, which are still adorning the walls of the ashram. They are, of course, Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sharadamani Devi, Sai Baba, Jesus, Sri Aurobindo, Sri Raman Maharshi, Buddha, Swarashtra, Swami Vivekananda, Guru Nanak Dev and Gurudev. Ramdas had realized that unity of all religions and his love and admiration go out to all spiritual teachers equally. He is at once the servant of the Almighty and a child of saints. How blissful it is to feel and be conscious of this truth. So that is the tradition of legacy left over by them. So that is why we remember all these things. And as a spiritual aspirant, we derive a lot of benefit from that. Now we are trying to watch ourselves and find out whether what happens to us initially when we join, the feelings will be there. We may not be able to explain that. But later on it unknowingly slips into routine. Why is it so? Word by word we need not. Every day we chant also, Kayena vacha manasa indriyairva buddhyatmanavad prakrite svabhavad karomi yadyad sakalam parasmai Srimat Narayanayedi samarpayami. Kayena vacha manasa indriyairva. I may not be able to understand word by word, but at least there is a thoughts, words and deeds, I offer to you. When we go to Shiva temple, another prayer is there. Karacharana kritam va, kayajam karmajam va, sravana nayanajam va, manasam va aparadam, vihidam abhihidam va, sarvamedat shamasva, Shiva Shiva karunadhe, Sri Mahadeva Shambhu. At least at that particular moment,
This prayer is there in Shri's auntie also, Swami.
Shirdi Arti.
Another?
Shirdi. The same prayer.
Shirdi Arti. Sri Saisha Kripanidhe Akhila Nirnam Sarvartha Siddhi Prada Yushmat Padaraja Prabhava Madulam Data Vivakta Kshama Sadbhaktya Sharanam Kritanjali Puta Samprapidosmi Prabhu Srimat Sai Paresha Padakamalam Nanya Charanyam Mama Aneka Janma Arjita Papa Samkshayoho Bhaved Bhavatpada Saroja Darshanad Kshamassa Sarvan Aparada Punjagan Prasida Saisha Guru Dayanidhi. Like that, whenever we sing, whenever we render, if there is a conscious effort on our part to bring out this God dimension need not necessarily be through its meaning. If we know the meaning, it's a plus point, bonus. But so that the feeling is triggered, it won't be a lip level exercise. This is what Papa meant prayer and meditation. Open up a channel of communication. So this prayer helps in short, in simple words, Early morning when we get up, we say, Pratasmarami, Hridi Samspurat Atma Tattvam, Sat Chit Sukham, Paramahamsa Gadim Turiyam, Yat Swapna Jagrada Sushuptim Avedi Nityam, Tadbrahmam Nishkalam Aham, Najabhuta Sangaha. I am not this assemblage of matter, I prostrate before that. Similarly, Brahmanandam, Paramasugadam, Kevalam, Jnanamurtim, Dandvatitam, Gaganasadrisham, Tattvamasyadi Lakshyam, Ekam, Nityam, Vimalam, Achalam, Sarvadi Sakshibhudam, Bhavatitam, Trigunarahitam, Sadgurum Tam Namami. Now we understand why Papa wrote to Puja Swamiji when he was in Rishikesh. Immediately after taking sannyas, when he wrote to Papa for blessings, Papa replied. In that reply, he has detailed how the sadhana should be. And there he mentioned, learn a few shlokas. That will help you. Shanti mantras in the Upanishads. Even if we don't know the Upanishad, it is all right. Ishavashopanishad, we say that, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Immediately, the fullness. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya. If you take fullness from the fullness, what remains is fullness. Purnameva vashishyate. Suppose at that time we travel with the theme. The difference between the rendering without that and with that, each one will be able to experience. Again we repeat, not that we should know word by word. The essence of it. When the Tulsi Puja is done every day at home, mother used to do it immediately after the bath. So when she is out of doors, we have to do the job, So when once we asked her, what does it mean? She said, I don't know. But all that I know is, Tulsi stands for the whole plant kingdom. Tulsi Mata. Even today when we see a Tulsi plant, it wells up in our heart. That is enough. Later on we come to know the scientific aspect behind the Tulsi, the auspiciousness. Every day morning when we offer to Papa, mostly it is Tulsi only, Every day we take at least one
Tulsi leaf.
Tulsi leaf along with our tirtha. At that time we remember this. We are paying our respect to the entire plant kingdom. We cannot go and embrace the whole plants, but symbolically we do that. That is enough. There may be some scientific or linguistic explanation about so many things, but at least something should well up in our heart, So we don't mean that everybody should master the meaning. The theme, that is enough. So that the feeling will come. Then only the prayer, the purpose of the prayer is to open up a channel of communication. So when we train that, when Ramnam is also rendered, that feeling will develop in our heart. We are offering the Ramnam at the holy feet of our Master, who is there, both in the physical and ethereal form, impersonal and personal aspect. It gives us something, an inexplicable joy when we bring that dimension. So all these things convey to us that whenever we render anything with feelings, feeling means, we are not going to the technical term of it. Feeling means to become one with Him. The purpose is to open up a channel of communication. He is there, I am there. He and I, there should be a channel. So that means what? Remembering Him. Simple. So let us try, whenever we do anything, let us try to bring in this. It doesn't mean that we should be able to. We don't know Sanskrit. We have not learned Sanskrit. That is why even some sloka comes, we have to refer to somebody to find out the meaning. But our anxiety is only to have the theme in us, in our mind. Even when we render this Arati, previously we did not know where to stop. We go along with the tune set by people and we had no idea. But what is there? Mataji will not ask us to do something which will not help us in our sadhana. That feeling is there. So in order, then what happened to me then? Vyaptam. Have I been able to keep up that remembrance? Then I find no. Oh, then the question again comes, whatever we are doing it, we try to bring in that feeling. In whatever way He prompts us from within. It need not be in a uniformal way. So it's a very important point. Yesterday when we said about this, Papa's, read it again.
That comes prayer and meditation board. Feeling is expression.
Silvannamalai, Papa's travels took him to diverse experiences, from meandering through crowded streets to meditating in a cave for a month in full solitude. He felt God's living presence in every breath. So there the quotation comes, prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication with God so that His grace may fill you and transform your life into His very image. The second line is also very important. Not just feeling and going. Prayer and meditation open up a channel of communication with God so that His grace may fill you, that means remembrance may fill you, and transform your life into His very image. Godliness. And in another quotation also, Papa says, in every aspect it should come out, not in one aspect. Emotional, intellectual, dynamic nature, it should come out. So in my physical, in my mental, in my intellectual, everywhere it will be explicit, His presence. So that is why he repeatedly asked us to go through this prayer and meditation, prayer and meditation. And then one more. Devotion means loving remembrance of God. Bereft of devotion, life is dry and tasteless. Devotion sweetens life, frees it from the bond of ignorance. Jagannath. Devotion means loving remembrance of God. Bhakti. Bereft of devotion, life is dry and tasteless. Devotion sweetens life and frees it from the bond of ignorance. So this will all help us, about developing this feeling. That is not the word, it's a wrong word, developing. It is paving the way for the feeling to come out, When my love toward the Almighty, even if it's a deity or a guru, if it is there, it will open up the feelings that is in my heart.
Swamiji, நம்ம பாவம் சொல்லுவோமே அதானே, பாவம் அந்த பாவத்தோட பண்றோம்.
பாவம் கரெக்ட். பாவம் அதான் சரியான பாவத்தோட பண்ணோம். Even when we offer our flowers at our puja room, when we apply the kumkum or chandan, அந்த பாவனை இருந்தால் போருமே, which is very important. Otherwise it becomes a ritual, We should start from that avahanam, and from there we go through the whole thing. And then when we say superimposition is removed, until such time. Suppose we have that feeling in our heart, நல்ல பாவனையோட பூஜை பண்றது. At that moment, he is with us in that form.
Yes, Swamiji.
Swamiji. Means devotion, no, Swamiji?
Huh?
Devotion. Feeling means devotion, she says.
Whatever we do,
Not thinking of anything else except.
Huh?
Not thinking of anything else.
When I am not thinking of anything else except Him.
ஆமாம். This intellect should not come there. It has no job there.
Swamiji, feeling means becoming one with the object of thought.
We are not analyzing it from the thought level, Here now what we are analyzing is the God thought, Whatever way you are approaching God, perfectly all right. So we are now trying to associate ourselves with that thought. Simple thing. That is why in many of the compositions you find, they are graphically describing the dress, everything of God, They are not satisfied. Sundarite Dhyana, for example.
The other day I came across that surrendering means surrendering of the intellect.
Surrender of the intellect, correct.
கொஞ்சம் கூட நம்ம அனலைஸ் பண்ணாம இருக்கிறது அது complete dissolve ஆகுது.
Later on we will come to know that intellect is given to us to work out his plan through us to others. At the same time, feelings are given to us to connect ourselves with him. Feelings cannot be extended for the outward management, and intellect cannot do it for our connecting with, aligning with God. We don't know whether this is right or wrong. This is what we feel. Because there should be a union. Intellect will object to that union unknowingly. It always retains its individuality. So then at the same time, when we when we are handling the affairs of others, we need the intellect. Suppose you want to write a letter, you should know the know-how, of the how to use the language, how it can be presented in a presentable way. All those things, intellect helps us, no doubt. When we try to invent, discover, innovate so many things, intellect has its own role. But to know Him who is within us, there we don't want that intellect to have its individual entity. Here it should become one with it. That can be had only through feelings. When somebody cries, when out of pain, out of some sudden shock, we are moved, Well, tears will well up in our eyes. What does it mean? We try to understand later. We have become one with Him, Hari Om. This is what is needed, one with Him. So feeling removes all barriers. At the same time, don't belittle the importance of the intellect. Intellect is given to us to work out His plan through us. Feelings are given to us to every now and then remind us of our contact with Him. So prayer and meditation helps us to open up this channel of communication with Him. More of it tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram.